Okay. All right. All right. All right. All right. I believe you guys are ready for today's training. Um, yeah. So what is going on, creative? Uh, Welcome again to my weekly design training where I share free design tips with designers. All right. Okay, so I have this design I received during the week from a designer, and I want to specially thank the designer that sent this design to me and my team to review. Okay. But before I get to the reviewing of the design, I want every one of you to know that our job as a designer is to inform our viewers. And how we do this correctly is by understanding that the way we put together the elements in our project is to inform them, is to tell them story, all right? And are not putting together the element the right way can change the message. There are times where, as designers, we use the right elements in our project, but the way we put together the other elements that need to work together with the elements is what affect the success of the design. So I'm going to go straight to today's design, and I'm going to share what is working and what is not working in the design. So let's start. All right. So so this is the design. Pardon me, I'm supposed to put my camera up. Wondering why you guys can't see my face. Okay. See. Pardon me. That was actually out of what I planned. All right. So yeah, I believe you guys can see my screen now. And I believe you can see my Photoshop application. Okay. Um, I was not supposed to play that. I have to stop it. All right. So this is the design I received from a designer, and I'm going to quickly share what is working here before I get to the what is not working part. Okay. So the first thing I love so much about this project here is the part of using the right illustration, for the project, because, this element here is one of the illustration that is best for protection. Like if you want to depict protection in your project, um, this element is part of the elements that you can use, and this is perfect for the title, in the project here. So the message here is clear. All right. And I really want to say good job to this designer for getting this illustration here. All right. But what is not working here, which is the part that that really made me redesign this, is the part of putting together the uh information in the project. Because the way you make the other element in your projects, the way you place them in your design also add to the story part of your project. So the not putting it right can affect the success of the design. And I noticed that is what is not really working here. The first thing I notice here is the part of not placing this information right in the project. I'm talking of making it look like this information is placed on a flat surface. I mean, like on the floor where we have this umbrella. Because unity is very important where putting together your element is concerned. When you're putting together your element, you need to understand that you're trying to create a scene. I've shared this with you guys several times. The way you watch movies, where you see how they decorate the surrounding in order to help the message in that particular scene clear, is the same way we put together element in graphic design. All right. So when you have images that is facing a particular angle, there's the part of you also making your other content flow with the angle where the illustration is facing. Now, there are times where you don't really need to do this, but in a case where you are looking at making your project look dynamic, it's always best to give room for unity, where allowing the other content in your project to go the same angle where you have your illustration. So here, I expect this designer to make this information here look like it's actually on a surface. Now, this is looking more like a surface, but it's looking like it's on a wall. And if you look at this umbrella here, it looks more like the umbrella is on the floor and not on the wall. All right. It looks as if the umbrella is on a floor here. All right. It looks as if it's on the floor here. Okay. So in my last tutorial, I explained the part of first solving the horizon line. There's also the part of solving the floor of the image before you place your content. So you can always place the image here. In fact, this area here is the best place to place the title. Why? Because the artwork is talking about life insurance, and we're supposed to make this illustration look like it's protecting the title. All right, that's another way you tell story, in graphic design, making your illustration work together with your type. In fact, making type and illustration work together is part of how you do the unexpected in graphic design. All right, so when you see type in your project, don't see type like type like the way clients see it. See type like images. So make it look like this type that you have here, I'm talking of the title here, is also like the image that you have here. So you're supposed to place this right under the umbrella in order to make it look like, yes, the umbrella is actually protecting, the title. All right. And working this way would have, make the message in the project connect well. All right. So the only thing I notice here is the part of not, giving room for unity, where making it look like the elements in the project belong together. I know the designer is trying to do that here, but why? And the reason why I feel the designer did not really get this right is because the designer did not first define the flaw. All right. The designer did not first define the flaw of the illustration. So you need to first define the flaw, and then you now place your content in the project. The part that I love here is the part of the other part I love in this project is the part of the proximity, where grouping the elements. So the designer did a good job here, where giving room for proximity, and that's another principle of design that you need to always, if I don't do without making this available in your project. Proximity is very, very important. Don't focus only on contrast. I know so many designers always think, okay, once I'm done with, once I understand contrast, I'm good to go as a designer. No, there's the part of also paying attention to proximity. And when I say proximity, I'm referring to the grouping of the content in the project. All right. So the proximity here, I'm going to break it down. And I'm going to break them down according to their level of importance, which is hierarchy. All right. Which is another thing I noticed that the designer did well in this project. So I need us to do this. If you have questions you want to ask me, you can drop it in the chat box. I'll read the question out immediately after the review, and I'm going to give you the answer that I believe is best, for the question. All right. So the first level of hierarchy that I notice here, which is also the proximity, is the title. All right. I like the way the designer grouped this information here, which is the first thing that draws my attention. And also, I believe that will draw the reader's attention. All right. So this here is the first thing. And the next level of hierarchy, which is the proximity in the project, is this. And why, is so, why the grouping of the element is so successful is because of the space that the designer gave the information in the project. Because if you look at the space we have between the title and this information here, you will notice that the space between life insurance is different from the space between insurance and time. And that gave room for that, making the proximity in the project balance. So this is the second level of hierarchy, which is the second proximity in the project. And we now have the logo, which is the third. All right, in the project. So the proximity in this project here is beautiful. Yeah. So, but the part of not arranging the elements right is what I noticed this designer did not, do well. All right. So I'm going to show you guys my version, and I'm going to explain my process on how I put together my elements to achieve successful design project. Okay. Okay, I need to put this up. Okay. Let's see. All right. So here is my version. And like I always say, I'm a fan of designer that always like to start with my illustration. All right. So this is what I was trying to explain to you guys. We're defining the flow before putting the content in the project. Unity is very important. I will always repeat this till you guys get it. There's always making it look like your elements belong together. All right. So the first thing I did was, the next thing I did after placing the illustration is defining the floor. So I position the floor, my drawing, under the illustration, so that by the time I place my content on that shape that I drew, is going to stay below or under the umbrella. All right. So there's a concept I normally use when I'm trying to skew my title in graphic design, or when I'm using Photoshop. I always start with drawing a shape. All right. Then I'm going to change the color of the shape and convert the shape to a smart object. All right. Then I will reduce the opacity of the image and convert and change and activate free transform and select distort. So I'm going to distort. I distorted the image to follow that part, which is the shape that I drew below the umbrella, because I know I'm going to be placing my type on that shape there. So I right click on the layer and select edit content. All right. So Photoshop open a new document of that layer for me. Then I now place my information, which is the title, on that new document. So anything I apply to that new document will automatically reflect in the original design. All right. Because not doing it this way is going to really give me so much headache making the title balance on the floor. Okay. Yeah. So I decided to use a narrow character because that word insurance is long. All right. And the word life, I decided to put it in a circle in order to show that life illustration. All right. In order to show that, life illustration on the title. And I changed the color of the word life to red because I know by the time I skew the image, it's possible it's going to be difficult for my viewers to see the word life. So I decided to change the color to red so as to draw the attention of the viewers or the readers to that part where I have that circle and the live text, because red is one color that read fast. Is one of the colors that draws attention fast. So I decided to change the color of the shape to red. I hope you guys get that. Then the next thing I did was to add the website, because yeah, the project is my world. You can always position the website anywhere you want it. But the reason why I decided to place the website below the title is to not make that part of the title look too flat. All right. So I decided to place the website below it in order to make that part of the title look interesting. Trust me, you can always work this way. There's nothing that say your website should always be below the address. Okay, yes. So then after applying this to that new document, I hit Control S, and the change I applied to the layer automatically reflects in the original project. Then I cropped out the umbrella rod from the title in order to make it look like, yes, the title is actually below or under the the umbrella. Then I noticed that the designer placed the other information below the title. No, the reason why I decided not to place the content the way the designer did was because you see that area where we have the umbrella with the title is already loaded. You placing anything in that under that part where you have the umbrella is going to make that part too busy. That's one. Then number two is, because I know I'm going to be using small size, I'm going to be making the size of the characters smaller. I decided not to continue with that flow of skewing the information, because doing it may affect the making the small information in the project visible. So I decided to place those information above the umbrella in order to give room for visibility, in order to help my viewers see those information clearly. And one beautiful thing about working with a black and white working on a black and white project is, no matter how small you make your type, if the background is white, it will surely be visible. Now, see, there are times when you make it too small, it's going to be very difficult for the viewers to see. All right, it's going to be difficult for them to see. So don't make it too small. But here I arrange the content having the readers in mind, because I'm a fan of not making it difficult for my readers to see the content in my project. So I decided to use a light character because I know I'm making the information small. When I say light character, I'm talking of light style. All right, not a less heavy style for the small information in the project. Okay, so yeah. And then I added the rider. All right. Yeah, I added the rider because the rider is also important. I mean, sorry, I said the rider. I added the date because the date is also part of the information I want the viewers to also see fast. So after seeing the title, I decided to make the dates, the event day, the next level of hierarchy in the project. And there's something I did here which excuse me, I'm going to advise you guys to also start playing with. I noticed that the part where I have the date, which is the day where the event is going to hold, when the event is going to hold, and this is that part with the time, we have too many bold style there. So I decided to change the style. All right, I decided to change the style so as to not make that area look too busy. All right, because too much of something, too much of the same thing in graphic design can affect the beauty of your design. All right, so I decided to change the style of the time to a light style in order to help the flow of reading, and also to help the hierarchy in the project balance. All right, so after seeing the title, the next thing you're going to see is the event day, and the next thing after that is going to be the time, and the address. And look at how I play with proximity in the project. All right. I put the information in the project in their separate group, like the way the designer, did. All right. So yeah. And then the next thing I did was to place the social media handle below the the umbrella, so as to make the attention of the viewers go to it, because that area where we have the social media, and do you notice we don't really have too much content in that area. So because we have less content in that area, it's going to be easy for the viewers to see the information there. So I'm a fan of making my layer panel neat. So look, I'm sure you guys noticed the way I put my content in their separate group. All right. So I noticed my background is looking too flat, and there's nothing that's really showing that tension in the project. So I decided to add, this stroke effects that you're looking at now on my screen, to depict something more like a rain effect in the project, to make it look like, yes, the umbrella is actually protecting the title from the rain. All right. So I decided to do that to also spice my background, and also to help make the message in the project clear. And I'm sure you guys agree with me that the adding of the stroke to the project also add to the success of the design. All right. So yeah, if you have questions, that your question in the chat box, I'm going to do my best to answer your question and give you the answer, and give you what I believe is best, for the question. And if you think the after version makes sense, I will appreciate if you can drop a message and let me know if the after version of the project makes sense to you. All right. Yeah, I will appreciate if you guys can drop a message and let me know. Okay. Yeah. So while I'm waiting for your question, I want to quickly seek a simple favor from you guys. Yeah, I know you guys learned so much from this training, and I want us to work together to help the people who can't afford to go online, like you and I. There are so many people who are out there that want to learn design but can't afford to go to design school. I get calls a lot from people begging me to please help them. All right. Yeah. So I really want to be a blessing to these people. And because of that, we decided to start a foundation where we can help these people. So most of the training we're going to be having for these guys is going to be on site. All right. It's going to be on site training because they can't afford to buy internet and join us. All right. So we're also looking at helping the people who can't buy data. We're looking at buying data for them so they can also be joining us live here. But this is something we can't do on our own. So we need you guys to help us so we can help, these people. All right. So if you have any amount you think you can help us with, simply make use of this account details on the screen. If you're outside Nigeria, you can also use the same account to send us any amount. Any amount that comes from you will be highly appreciated. Let's help people. There's nothing hard doing that. And I know what it takes for you to dip your hand in your pocket to help people. And I'm going to appreciate you guys if you can do this. All right. I'm going to so much appreciate it if you guys can work together with us to help these people. And for those of you who have been supporting us, we really appreciate you for doing this. Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much, for doing this. All right. And I don't want us to stop, guys. All right. For those of you who have been supporting us, please don't stop. Keep doing it. We're looking at getting some gadgets in order to, help these people, effectively. All right. Yeah. So yeah, you can make use of the account details. Okay. Yep. I think that is it. So any question, guys, if you have questions, please let me know. And if you know anyone who is struggling with design, kindly share this tutorial with them. Let them also watch and learn how to be a successful uh designer. And see, guys, tutorials trainings like these are not supposed to be something you just watch once and then you say bye bye to it. No, it's something I believe you, if you watch it maybe like 3 or 4 times, there are some things your mind did not go to when watching it live, that by the time you repeat watching it, your mind will surely go to that area. All right. Yeah. So do your best to go back and watch this tutorial again, and also do your best never to miss any of my live training. I'm gonna be doing more training for you guys, where teaching you guys how to be a successful designer. All right. Okay. So I think that is it. I'm not sure we have questions. I need to go, guys. Again, if you have not subscribed, kindly hit the subscribe button and share this video with people. If you love today's training, kindly give this video a thumbs up and drop a comment. Even if you can't drop your question now, you can drop it later. I'll do my best to reply you. All right, so we need to go now since we don't have any question. Okay, so I want to especially thank you guys again, and I'm going to see you guys again in the next training. Bye for now, or peace.